afternoon, adventurers. That's right. It's a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we are doing the Dungeon Corner live from the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida. It's a Saturday thing. I was hijacked. I was actually kidnapped and taken in by goblins over the week, and so I had to escape, and I was out scouting to see where they had taken the princess. You know, in January, we're going to have that big battle royale where the goblins have sat there and captured the princess, and the four duchies have sent their heroes to go and save her. And maybe they will, and maybe they won't. You never know. But the wonderful thing is I escaped. I know where the princess is. So I can tell them where they're going to go and how to get there. But I don't know what they're going to be fighting yet. But at least I found the place. So here it is, a Saturday afternoon, and I'm coming to you live. That's right. We're going to have some guest appearances today. We're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff on the show. And then we're going to talk about something that's kind of twisted. But it's all good. So here we go. Let's start with, let's see, where we're going to start with. We're going to start with Dragonlance. Because the last time we talked about Dragonlance, we could only see it. But as of this last Tuesday, we can also buy it. And that is always a good thing. So as I told you, there's 3 editions. The normal cover, which is very cool. Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Very nice. And I don't know if I remember telling you, but this is a 1st through 11th level campaign adventure, right? So there goes the first one. Actually, you know what? You guys know my son Antonio. Come on over. Come on down. Here, you can go out there. See, there's Antonio. He's back. It's a Saturday, so he's actually here. Look at that. You can stand up in the front where you can see it real nice. Watch it. He's going to stand in front. He's going to do, he is the new Dungeons and Dragons. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Round of applause. Yes. This, you never know what's going to happen on the show. All right. But since you're already out there, let's grab Antonio's favorite cover, Lord Soth, Knight of the Rose. Dun, 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 dun. There he is. Man, that's creepy. He is just cool, though. I hope you froze it. Ha, 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 ha. But look at that. That looks so cool. Half of them is silver. Half of them is like a crimson gold. And then, of course, what everybody should want for Christmas, the Dragonlance Special Edition box set that comes with the board game. That's the deluxe edition. It's amazing. It has it has the actual book with a 3rd cover, by the way. That's a 3rd cover. There's 3 covers. It has the Dungeon Master screen. Look at that. See, it's a totally different cover. And there goes the Dungeon Master screen, and there's everything in it. It looks so cool. It's a board game. I hope they come up with expansions for it, but it's awesome looking. Okay, that is actually on Antonio's Christmas list. Yes, it is. Oh, talking about Christmas list. Look, if you're down here at the Collective, you've got to get your Christmas list on. Grab it, fill it out, put it up there so when people come in, they go, hey, bloop, bloop, such and such. Yeah, I got a list right here. All right, so let's keep moving from your right, my left, to left and right. So right here, we're talking about board games. This is a new board game that came out. It's called Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Begins, a cooperative board game. And it's basically about Dungeons and Dragons that slowly introduces you into the game with a real neat puzzle. You can create your character. Here, Tony's going to kind of show you a little bit. The front cover is really neat. It's a nice way to get family members into it. It's a board game. There it is. The adventure begins. You got 4 characters that you get to put together. As you can see, there's cards involved. There's dice involved. And we love dice. What would Dungeons and Dragons do without dice? Just, well, probably not much of nothing because there'd be no fun, huh? Anyway, so dice. Dice. We love the dice. All right, so this is a great Christmas present. Anybody who's interested in starting, that's another way to kind of slowly get them in. If they're board game aficionados, then you kind of bring them into the role playing. Now, this doesn't have a lot of role playing in it. This is kind of like a build and kind of do the mechanics of the game with cards and dice, okay? So, very nice. It's got 4 miniatures in it also that you can probably use. Paint them up really cool. Yeah. All right. Then we continue on with miniatures. This is the Hellwasp. You know, they always come out with a paints kit that comes out each month. And, of course, Fiona comes in at the beginning of the month. She has a paint day where she can come. You can get one of these kits. It has all the paints that you need. It comes with a water pot. It comes with 2 brushes, 12 Vallejo colors and the Hell Wasp miniature itself. And it's a step-by-step. But what's awesome about her being here is that she can actually take you step-by-step and help you paint it. Not help you paint it, but kind of help you with any questions that you might have. Okay? It's awesome. I mean, you can't beat it. You get the instruction from she's amazing painting, amazing miniature painter. And she does great stuff. Now this, I really like this. This is Game Master. Now I've shown you the Game Master terrain building stuff. Well, they came out with a paint set, and in this paint set, there's actually 5 miniatures. Starter miniatures, and there's what? Let me see. There's 5, 11, 18 paints in here. Oh, I'm sorry, 20. 20 war paints. I forgot those. Okay, yeah. But take a look at this. This is really neat. It's a full set.
It's all Army Painter, too.
Yeah, it's Army Painter. It's by Army Painter, by the way. Yes, I called it Game Master, but it's actually, that's just their line of terrain stuff. But yes, these are the paints for it. They're amazing. Really nice set. It comes with 5 miniatures. Can't beat the price. I mean, it is just awesome. In Army Painter, I like their paints. I use their paints. I don't use them exclusively because, well, you know, there's no sponsorship yet from them, but soon, right? Tomorrow. And then this is really cool. This is the Icons of the Realms. Remember, I showed you. Oh no, I froze it. There I go. I showed you the golem that you put the miniature inside. Well, this is one of those cool miniatures too. It is the Apparatus of Qualish. I'm sure some of you have run into it, and it's just no fun. Oh look, my brother's calling me. Should I answer the phone? Yeah, let's answer the phone. Hey, Willie. Hey, you're live on the show. Say hi to everybody.
Oh, hey, what's up? Yo, what's today? Saturday.
Yes, yes. The Dungeon Corner is just for one day moving over to Saturday because I got captured by those crazy goblins when I was looking for the princess's hideout. I know, right? How could they? They're just rude like that. Antonio's here. Say hi to Antonio.
Hey, Antonio, what's going on?
Hey, Uncle Willie.
Yeah, see his family. Hey, look, Sarah. Sarah's here live. She ran off. I'm gonna have to sit there and go get a thorn whip and get her in here to say hi to everybody. Oh yes.
Let me put you on then. I'll put you on.
All right, put me on. But I'm glad you called. You're live on the show, so I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you
All right, brother. All right. So say, hey, I tell you this, we get people coming in live. We got people calling in. It's awesome. Okay, so talking about Fiona and all the wonderful painting that she does, you have got to see this miniature. So this is you can win that mini. She was hand painted by her. Yeah, look at that. Can't really see the details. The best way to do it, you know what I always say about this kind of thing? You got to come in and see it live. She does wonderful work. It's shaded. It's just awesome. It's got some nice basing on it. So this is the Extra Life. So it's a $1 for only $1. You get a little drawing. And every first Saturday of every month, there's going to be a drawing for a miniature she hand paints. This money goes to the Extra Life Foundation, which they do a lot of things with kids and that. So it's a really not worthwhile thing to do. And you get a beautiful miniature. I mean, you can't paint that miniature. With the paints alone are more than $1, not including her time. And she does beautiful work, and the miniature itself, awesome. So come in and support the Extra Life program, all right? Got a few tickets in there, and there's a drawing every single month for it. Don't put that right here, right behind it. Of course, we got to move the dice. And look, if you don't want to roll dice, you can use them as maracas. All right, very nice. Okay, so check this out. More gifts for Christmas. So they don't play board games. They don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but they love building puzzles. Well, watch this. Right here is the Lich Lord puzzle. How many pieces is that, Antonio?
1,000.
1,000 pieces. Oh my God. You better say 1,000 pieces of gold, huh? Instead, you're building a Lich Lord. And then this one, oh, well, you know, that, golly, wonder what that could be. Let's put it out there. And of course, the Queen of the Evil Dragons, Tiamat. And how many pieces is that one? 1,000?
1,000.
1,000 pieces, too. Put them side by side, and you got yourself the Coalition of Evil going on there. All right. Oh, this is cool. This is really, I just happened to see this out there. This came out, it stuck out. It's called D6. It comes with 4 class minis and 8 environment minis and a board game. It's just a really fun D&D-ish. It's not by Dungeons & Dragons, but it's a D&D-ish type of game that uses all kinds of D6s. It has gold in it. It's just a really cool board game. I wanted to talk about it because you know me, all things Dungeons and Dragons. Sometimes it's not quite Dungeons and Dragons, but that's all right because there's a theme going there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It comes with a hardback book inside of it to teach you the rules and everything. It's really cool looking. And no, I haven't opened it yet, but Christmas, it's hard to buy stuff for yourself for Christmas when people always ask you, what do you want? What would you like for Christmas? Do you have a Christmas with it? And you are buying stuff. It just doesn't work out. Trust me, been there, done that. It's just not good. Just not good. All right, so today's topic, since I've been rambling. Hey, my love, look, speaking of the wife, there she is. Hello, my love. Welcome to the show. It's on a Saturday at 1 o'clock, but I kept the time the same. It took me about a day to get back from that goblin situation that I was in. All I did was throw some shinies in there. That's easy. Well, it doesn't always work, but it worked. Let's just go with the basics. Sometimes the basics, the simple things, are good enough. All right, so today we're going to talk about something that's really cool. Hey, Tony, pull up that stool, and you can kind of co-host too. That'll be kind of neat since you're a dungeon master, a game master, a runner of games. Come on over. I'll show the table with you. Yeah, there we go. You need a shorter chair, though. Look at this. This is going to be crazy. Oh, there he goes. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay. My co-host is not 3 feet taller than me now. Hey, brother, look at it. Willie Blanco's on. All right, so we got Sarah and my wonderful wife and my brother Willie. Families always support you, see? All right, so here was the question. Because we run a game on Wednesday nights, and we kind of alternate between some DMs now. There's only one big group, but that's the catch. It's a big group. Sometimes we have and you've heard me talk about this before, 16, 17 players. I think we had 12 players. 12 players this last Wednesday. It's a lot to handle. And the DMs are doing a good job, especially Antonio, of keeping it in. A couple of ways to beat that. So they were saying, well, how do you do it? How can you get the game going and keep it going? Because the game's been going on for over a year now. We're on almost 2 years now because we started it last year, February or March. Mm-hmm. And it's been going strong. So, I mean, the game has changed a little bit, and we swap it off between game masters. But there's definitely a love of the game. And you do once upon a time, we used to have 3 tables like that. So it's kind of condensed, and things that come and go. Hi, AAA. But so the question was, how do you keep a game like that going, and what can you do to change it? One, I was going to get to that. One, you can have an amazing assistant from Sarah, who's Antonio's amazing assistant. Although she has assisted me also in some of my endeavors with Dungeons and Dragons here. So one, you can have an amazing assistant, or just an assistant if they're not amazing. But Sarah's amazing, so she's an amazing assistant. Did I say that right? Yes. So that's one way. That kind of helps you because while you're doing whatever, Sarah, when Antonio's like doing the role playing or trying to organize the battle and keeping things going that way, she's over here making the dice rolls for the monsters or the saving throws for them. So she's handling that aspect of it, which speeds up the game a little bit. All right. Imagine 12, 13 players. They're all rolling. There's an initiative going on. She helps them keep track of the initiative. Antonio still runs the adventure, keeps that flowing. So it's a good flow. You got this ebb and flow, right? That's really nice. That's one way. 2, break up the party and put a second game master out there, dungeon master, which I've done. When I had the 18 players and we did that big battle, we actually ended up with 20 players, and we had that big battle royale across the board. I had 3 other assistant DMs with me. I ran one group. They each ran a group. 4 game masters, 20 players. It was amazing. So hashtag Vanna White. Yes. That was Antonio just earlier. You missed it. Antonio White. Not to be confused with Willie Blanco. All right. Anyway, so that's another way. I had the players. I set them down in their groups. They ran the battles, and then that kind of changed what was going on the overall battle on the field. So that was really cool. That's another way you can do it. Now, that's all great if you have those extra bodies, right? But what if you don't? Well, you just got to be upfront with the players and tell them, listen, things are going to be a little bit slow going. And everybody's got to be, you can't be talking over each other. And that's still going to happen, unfortunately, where everybody's they got a great idea, they're throwing it out there where something's going on and this person's trying to get his attention. Remember, there's only one game master, so that's really important. It's going to happen. Trust me. You get excited about it. I do it to them from time to time. I got an idea. So what the hell? You know, and sometimes there's 3 of us at another table, and then there's this big table with like 8 or 9 people on it, and it's just crazy. But just be mindful of that. Tell them, hey, we're just going to have to take it a little slow. Everyone's going to get a turn according to initiative, and their turn might be a little longer because you got to listen to what they're thinking about doing. Maybe they're communicating with another player. They're doing something off to the side. Who knows? But then there's the moment sometimes, which is happening in Antonio. That's why I'm going to have him talk to you about it. We were at the venture we're on now, and we had just walked into from the cold into this volcano that had a magical barrier around that kept it warm, right? Kept the warmth in, and then kept the cold out. And so there were like all these different routes, a center route, and we have found these concealed doors. So what happened? Well, I'm going to let Antonio tell you what actually happened at that point, because he had to live this firsthand. So what happened, Antonio?
So the party decides that they want to find their own path. Impromptu DMing decided, sure, why not? Even though it wasn't designed that way originally. I think it was 4 groups in the end. 4 groups of at least 3 with only one that was of 2. So instead of the direct approach, everyone else took their separate path that they found, and it worked with the map that I had, that they each came in from a different direction. Granted, the being that they were about to encounter was not something they needed to be fighting, and we'll just say that the DM decided it was a good idea to step in at that point to expound upon how powerful, yeah, what this being would be and how difficult it could be. But splitting the party was an interesting one. Each one wound up into their own traps. Let's see. One group had issues with a pit. Their one was a halfling, if I remember correctly.
Yes, a halfling.
He went to go across the pit second. The first one got across, no issues. Second one went to go across. He was halfway there, just misread the jump due to his rolls. Then the barbarian, half-orc barbarian goes, punts him across the rest of the way, lands, is about to fall in, so then the Tabaxi rogue then dives into the half-orc barbarian, collapsing them all on top of the Dragonborn paladin.
I think I told you guys about the Dragonborn sorcerer.
No, paladin.
Paladin, no, that was a paladin, yep.
All on top of them, and they created a sandwich.
I told you. I think I told you about that, but to hear from the dungeon master who, it was just great. And that was all improvisation.
Then the other group fell into the pit.
Yes.
They just walked and fell into it. And it closed on them. And they figured out they could open it again, but getting up was the issue.
Yep. That was very true. And then the other one got shot. The other one set off traps and got shot.
Yeah. And then the other group just walked in.
Well,
no issues.
We had a rogue with us, see? We had a rogue with us, and of course did what the rogues are meant to do and found all the traps. We turned invisible. It was great. Postal invisibilities are great. Turned invisible, found all the traps. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, different outcomes for different groups, you know. But it was interesting because he had to, on the spur of the moment, improvise. It's like 2 people kept walking down the main hallway. Everybody just broke up. It was so crazy, so crazy. But it was really neat. And the way, and that's one of the things you got to be able to do as a game master. Don't go, oh my gosh, don't split up the party. No, you guys can't. Or let them do it and improvise. And each group had to take their turn. And that's it. I mean, we eventually all came back together. He's right. Because some people were, you know, in parties, you just got these people who just want to fight. And that's okay. Until you meet something that's 10 times stronger than you. You're 7th level and they're a lot higher. They're the kind that go bing, and there you go flying into the wall. You've seen that, you know, when like in animations you see that guy, the one character, a great one is Dragon Ball Z's one,
Mm-hmm.
where here comes the super. It's Goku. We're gonna go God, Super Saiyan, end of the world, Emperor of all that is good. Boom, and you go flying through 7 mountains, and you're like on the other side of the continent, on the other side of the world. 7 continents away, and you're like, what just happened? Yeah, that kind of thing, Or you come charging at the monster, and the monster goes, bink, and you go, same difference. I like to use the whole Goku thing because I think a lot of people are familiar with that, and they see that they're always flying through things, through mountains, and just stuff that should just outright kill people, But it's pretty cool. Yes, we don't just do D&D, but you get the idea. And it's nice when a game master can and that's what you guys say. And game masters, this is to you. Sometimes your players are just not going to be the most intelligent people in the world. And they're going to start pulling that sword out. And somebody in their party, you just got to go and put that hand across that pommel and shove it back down into the scabbard and go, Because sometimes there's not a party member that will do that. Yep. Oh, boy. No kidding. And you can start a war. Literally, that's what almost happened. Almost started a war, but that's a different story for a different time. But so that's one thing. So Dungeons and Dragons, let me kind of talk about this. We have had large parties. We've been part of large parties. We've run games of large parties. And I'll say this to you, is that you have to be patient. You've got to kind of set out your adventure. And I've talked about how to get the experience and stuff, but the adventure itself and let it flow. It's got to be big. The room's got to be big enough. The areas that you're going to fight in, unless you want to split the party, in which case you got to be ready for that. If you put a big room, you put a small room, but it's got four the hallways around and you got 4 doors coming into it, you may have the party split up and then you can kind of play with it from there. But like Antonio says, you're going to have to improvise because you don't know who's going to go where. You don't know who's going to be there that night. We've all had to at some point, because you're expecting a big party and then something happens, whether it's weather, this, that, the other, you're still here to run the game. But whatever happened last week, we had 12 players, now you've only got like 6. You've only got half the party, but you got all these monsters. So you got a couple choices. Either A, run something else, which is okay. In the world of Dungeons and Dragons, anything can happen. A portal might appear and just go. That's happened, by the way. I'm talking from experience. We ended up in arena. Remember?
Oh yeah.
He had this really cool arena, and we were fighting really well in a castle up in the sky, in the clouds. And then the next week, half the party didn't show up. And we're like, In fact, the ones who were doing the gladiatorial combat didn't show up, so that was really bad.
Oh yeah.
So we had to take a forfeit on that one. we took a dive on that one, but hey, it happens. It was pretty cool, and it's just the ongoing story. You kind of have to have an idea where this is going. Antonio's really good at it, and there's other game masters I've seen that are really good at it. The more experience you get at it, and don't worry about it if you're just starting out. Antonio had day 1. Once upon a time, Antonio decided he was going to run his first game. What was that like? Do you remember?
Nerve-wracking. It was definitely nerve-wracking. Not knowing if I was going to do well enough to make everybody happy.
But he did a good job. I know, I was there. He did a good job. And even if you don't, it's your first time. And people understand. People are much more forgiving when they know you're just starting out. And if they're not, then they're in the wrong place anyway. And they were in the wrong game at that time. So that's the thing, I've always told you, it's not what you do, it's who you do it with. If you got like-minded people that understand, hey, this is my first time doing this. I mean, the first time you sit there and throw a baseball, I doubt that you threw 3 perfect strikes if you're the pitcher. You're lucky if you even threw it in the right direction sometimes. It's like that in all things. The first time you go dancing, the first time you drive a car, it's all the first time. So remember that, gang, out there in the world when somebody comes up with that box set of Dungeons and Dragons and go, hey, I'd like to run this campaign. Well, not this one. This is a campaign. When they come with their first adventure, it just happens to be Dragonlance.
Yeah.
And they go, look, I just got this book and I really want to run this. I've never done it, but
They added a new race in there.
did they? What did they add?
The Kendar.
The Kender?
Yeah.
Oh, the Kender. Yeah, Kender. I think they're like a cross between a halfling and a kobold, right? Aren't they?
They
Kenders?
look like a elf and a gnome had a baby.
Oh well, there you go. Then the Kenders. Yeah, the Kenders are something else. Tennis half elven. One runs around with one, I think, if I remember correctly. But so back, yeah. See, a new race. I didn't even know about it because I haven't gotten the book yet. It's on my Christmas list. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. Antonio got the special edition because Antonio has a limited edition, the deluxe edition on his Christmas list. So it's all good. So he's had a sneak peek at it, which is cool. But okay, so Dungeons and Dragons was originally created for like 4 to 6 people. It's always been that way. Small groups. Now you see us running these huge groups on Wednesday, and you're like, wow, is that normal? No, it's not. And I talk about my home game where there's 10 players. No, it's not. That's not the norm. But I tell you about it because if it came to that, you don't be so discouraged. Oh my God, I got all these people. How am I going to do it? Just do it. You'll find out a way. And if you figure out that this is not for me and I want to keep my small groups, then so be it. We're probably, and here's exclusive on John's Dungeon Corner. Our D&D game is probably going to split. There's one game master already. You've got game masters that are playing because they don't really get to play. But one has bought a set and they're going to start running their own game on Wednesday. It's not because they don't like the campaign. It's just a lot. Okay? Sometimes it happens. People will splinter off and start their own game because 12, 13, 14 people, sometimes 16 people is a lot. He does a good job. Things get accomplished. Things get going. But there's times where you're just like, through no fault of nobody. It's just a lot of people trying to do a lot of things. And some things have to be done. They take time. Not everything is combat. There's role playing. There are certain situations that not everybody can be talking at one time and rolling dice. It's 1 or 2 people that have to deal with that. Sometimes you're a part of it. Sometimes you're not. And even though with an assistant, it's a lot. Okay. 4 to 6 people, it's easier to manage. Always will be. 16 people, not so much. But that's okay. All right. So I'm not going to talk long about that, but I wanted it. Don't be discouraged. That was a great word. Don't be discouraged if everything doesn't fall right because you've got to play with it. It's something you have to experience. I can't explain it to you, and Tony can't explain it to you. You have to experience it to have 8 or 9 players that are going, what do I do with these people? The first time I did, I was like, So what was my answer? Throw a lot of monsters. I just throw so many monsters at them, they don't realize what's going on and just fight. Because the role playing was like, I got to figure this out. So, but you slowly develop it and you bring in different characters. And hey, I've gotten to the point one time, like I said, I had 3 assistants. In fact, in the January big conflict with the Dutchies, we're going to have 3 or 4, probably about 3 or 4 dungeon masters. Do one more hour. What?
I think of this.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The show's almost at the end, but the show runs like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what's going on. Do one more hour. I love you, brother, but yeah, no. The people, I want them to come back next week, If I talk about everything all at once, then I can be here for hours and days. But no, but that's what I wanted to get to today. And be prepared. Even if you just do something spur of the moment, if you were planning for 7 players and 12 players show up, just double it. That's okay. Make it more combat worth, So it's okay. All right. So I think that's going to be it for the show, but let's recap real quick. Antonio was on the show. I was on the show. We had all these cool things. Now I'm going to kind of go. Remember, so Dragonlance is now out for sale. Okay. All the way from the basic, the special edition, which is a beautiful. Show them this cover again. I love this cover. Antonio's going to help me one last time. I love this. I like the way it feels. I know you guys have seen these, but that's just a gorgeous. And the backside of it, remember I told you he's the Knight of the Rose? There it is. If you don't know what the Knights of the Rose are,
they're actually in the book.
They're in the book.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the book. Lord Soth, I remember showing everybody, is also in the book. And he's writing, what was it? An Elder Death Dragon?
Yeah.
An Elder
Or
Death Dragon.
Lesser Death Dragon.
It's
a death
amazing.
dragon.
Whatever it is, it's an amazing creature. Okay, so we got the 3 sets here, the 3 different covers. We got miniatures. We got the new paints from Game Master, also AKA Army Painter, with miniatures in it. This really cool Adventure Begins thing. I got to show them that. I like that. I'm gonna put that on my list. I just like board games, and it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's just something. And listen, it's cooperative. It's not like you're on this. You have to win. It's a cooperative game. I love cooperative games because everybody wins. You know, it's sometimes you go in there and you play other games and it's all about winning, and sometimes it's just like not fun. Then we got the puzzles. If you'd like to just sit and be calmly, just chill out and build some puzzles, we got Dungeons and Dragons puzzles and the D6. Sarah's letting us both board games on my list. Oh, okay. You see what happens on this show. And then there's the D6 game. I'm gonna put that one on my. Oh, wait a minute. Is this one on your board?
Yeah,
this one?
this and this one.
Oh, and then this is on yours.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I just don't need to buy one. I can just come over and play their game. Ha!
I mean,
See?
that's true.
That is true, isn't it? Hey, get the family involved. You can get more games that way and do more stuff. You don't have to own it all. Just let the family buy some of it and get it for them and go to their house, eat their food, drink their drinks, and have a good time.
We were thinking about coming to your house, though.
Oh, no, wait. We'll talk about that on outside the show. No, we're always playing games together. So, hey, it's fun stuff. That's family. I told you, family, friends, acquaintances, and those you just met. This is a wonderful place to make memories with. So, anyway, Antonio's joined me today. I'm John. This is John's Dungeon Corner. And we will see you. Well, I'll see you next Friday unless something happens with orcs. I got to go do something with orcs next week. So we'll see what happens. You never know. But anyway, may the road always rise up to meet your feet and may all your adventures be successful. So this is Antonio and John wishing you guys a wonderful weekend. And don't forget to come by the collective. Last thing, Fiona's miniature painting, the raffle. It's for a great cause. Come by and buy many, many raffle tickets. See you guys next Friday.